Hey everyone, Shannon with Apogee of the Moon, weekly forecasts coming at you. Crazy solar return, crazy Mercury retrograde right now. So I will share my screen. And boom. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to jump into all 12 signs instead of going over the general energy because nobody likes to listen to that. So start with Aries and Aries rising. So this annular solar eclipse with Mercury retrograde cazimi the sun is happening in your third house. This is your thought, speech, communication. This is your local community. These are your siblings. These are your extended family members. These are, traveling within your community even. This is writing, speaking, communicating, things like that. So there is something brand new throwing you in a completely different direction. And the reason it's throwing you in a completely different direction, not just because it's a solar eclipse, but because there's also a square to Neptune. Squares to Neptune can cause confusion, can cause lies and deceit, and you have to pivot. You have to change. You have to go in a different direction. Or on the high end, it can be a complete download of what it is that your future endeavors in this area of your chart need to be. This could be a past life coming back into view or a message from beyond, right? Those types of things to tell you what you need to do down there in that third house, what new thing is coming at you. At the time of the eclipse, Mercury will be combust. So it's a lot of anxiety, a lot of like really fast mental kind of things going on, and you're not able to really calm the waters a little bit. However, there is a trine to Saturn. It's a wide trine, but it's a trine nonetheless. It's Saturn though is kind of offline, retrograde. So there could be some boundary issues there. And this is happening in your friends group. So maybe there's some things going on in your friends group that need to be revised, rehashed, reorganized, or redone over, and if you want to check it out, check out my my special video I did on Saturn retrograde for all 12 signs. And so with that though, with this eclipse happening in trine with Saturn as well, this can give grounded results, but it's not going to be right off. This is going to take a lot of effort. This is going to take, they say, 3 times more effort, double, triple, quadruple, quintuple checking things, and making sure that everything, all your I's are dotted, all your T's are crossed. And especially, with Mercury in trine with Saturn too at the same time, right? Because it's all conjunct in Gemini at 19 degrees, 1920. This is definitely revising something over the long haul and making sure that things are done the right way, and making sure things are going to be how you need them, not necessarily how you want them, but how you need them. And so that's for Aries rising people. The other thing we have going on during this eclipse is a the sextile to Pluto from Neptune. So Neptune is offering support in whatever it is that needs balance in the area of Cancer and Capricorn in your chart. So for you, it would be home and family, your roots, your property, where you go, where you hang your head every night. So there could have been arguments and disputes on the home front. There could have been power struggles at work even, or in your career, what it is that you're known for, or what it is that you're trying to do out there in the public eye, and the legacy that you want to leave behind. So there's been power struggles there. And so with this trine and sextile from Neptune, there can be mitigating behind the scenes forces. For some of you, this could actually be pulling away from the world for a little bit to really get your bearings and to really understand, what has transpired, what has gone on and what actions to take next, and for the highest and best of everyone involved. So there is that as well. Also, you know, later in the week, Mars will be moving out of Cancer for you. It's moving out of your 4th house. It's moving into your 5th house. So Mars likes Leo. Leo, you know, is the king of the zodiac. It's the, you know, the king or the queen, right? Depending on if man, woman, whatever. But this is also your 5th house. This is fun. This is play. This is romance. This is, you know, being really passionate about what it is that you're passionate about. And so with this moving into your 5th house, this could also be you really focused on a love affair. You really focused on your children. You really focused on the things that bring you joy and the things that bring you pleasure. And so that could be what's going on with this whole Mars moving into Leo for you, having you really fired up and really passionate. And your sign-based trine, your chart ruler is now in a transiting sign-based trine for you. So this could be a really great time to revamp your self-expression and how you express yourself and what it is that you want to express even, or how you want to express. So there is that as well. So that's for Aries and for Aries rising. For Taurus and for Taurus rising, this eclipse is happening in your 2nd house. So go Taurus, right? So there is going to be a lot of confusion. There's going to be a lot of maybe revamping in this area of how it is that you make your money or your possessions, even the things that you own. So there's definitely something going on here. And in the square to Neptune, this could be really understanding on a more intuitive level what it is that brings you value from your friends groups, or maybe there's even a monetary gain from the friends groups that you have. And so there's going to be, you're not going to really be able to see it clearly. This is something new that's coming in, right? So it could be that there is like a new opportunity to make money from a friends group. That could be a thing here, depending on, you know, how the rest of your chart is set up. But this new moon in your 2nd house, this solar eclipse in your 2nd house with Mercury is really, it could really be revamping your income. And also because Mercury also rules Virgo, this could also be revamping your children's income as well, if you have children. But this could also be revamping maybe a creative project that you want to do, something that is, you know, more of service to others, but it's something that you're really passionate about, something that brings you joy. And with this eclipse, maybe it can also bring you money as well. So there is that. With you know, the trine to Saturn here in your 10th house, this is a really easy flow of revamping what it is that you're known for out in the world, revamping what it is that you do out in the world, and having that as a long lasting effect on what it is that you're bringing home for money as well, because 2, 6, and 10 are money houses for you. And so that's all in the air signs. So there's a revamp going on in these two areas, especially with Mercury and Saturn both being retrograde, of revamping what it is that you're doing out in the world and the money that you're bringing home as well. So there is that. And with the sextile and the trine to Mars and Pluto from, you know, Neptune, this is support from your friends groups in terms of your community, your siblings, your higher ideal, higher mind. This could be education as well. So there could be learning something new as well from a group or an organization that is more Neptunian, more spiritual in nature, and it's going to help mitigate that Mars in your 3rd house as well, to kind of calm any arguments or disputes or anything like that. So there is that as well. And then this can also see maybe working with institutions and social groups, like higher education, or like what's the word I'm trying to think of? it's an organization, but it's a ninth house organization, right? Like maybe working with a college, working with some type of institution that has a really great humanitarian aspect to it, where you can work as work with a higher organization, a more structured organization with the humanitarian pursuits that you want to do. So that's that Neptune Pluto right there for you. And then when Mars moves into Leo, Mars is moving into your fourth house. So this could bring a little bit of discomfort or disruption on the home front, because this is in square with your ascendant. This could be acute issues popping up at home. Watch out for fire for some of you, because Mars and Leo are both fire. So just watch out for that. Watch out for maybe your in the home. Yeah, just fire. Make sure that your smoke detectors are good. Make sure that your fire extinguishers are good. And watch out for anything like that would go on. But also this could be as well arguments or disputes on the home front behind the scenes. Maybe there's something something going on there where there's something acute that breaks in the home as well, or something that something that breaks. There's because Mars can break things in the fourth house, just so you're aware. But yeah, so it's still gonna be very passionate, because Mars doesn't do so bad in Leo. It's not as passive aggressive as it is in Cancer, but Mars in Leo is very much, you will know if there's something going on, like as soon as it hits Leo. So this could be really fired up and really passionate about something on the home front. This could be even, your partner, arguments and disputes on the home front with the partner, or with some type of contractual agreement as well. It could be something like that too, because it is in an angular house. So for Gemini and for Gemini rising, this eclipse is happening in your sign, Gemini. So woohoo, Gemini. You are having a complete revamp across all aspects of your life, because this is your first house and all the chart is seen from the first house. So this is also with your chart ruler. This is also in square with Neptune up in your 10th house. So maybe there's some ambiguity. There's some kind of really weird, ominous kind of energy going on with what it is that you're known for, your career, but you yourself are going to completely transform something that's going on here for you specifically, and your body. This could also be your physical body in a transformation. So just be aware of that as well. And so this is definitely really great for Geminis. In the moment, it might not feel so great. There might be this sense of ominousness or free floating anxiety. And especially because Mercury is going to be combust, it can definitely be very anxious and very much that rat race mind, because Mercury will be combust here. But we do have a really nice trine from Saturn in the 9th house to this eclipse, even though Saturn is retrograde. So you yourself are redoing, re-editing, revising something to do with you yourself, as well as your higher belief system, or maybe your educational pursuit as well. But with Saturn retrograde in trine with Mercury retrograde and this eclipse at the same time, this is definitely a revamp of your outlook on God, the world, the universe. Everything around you is up for revision, and your perception of reality as it stands is up for revision. So just so you're aware of that. And then with the trine and sextile from Neptune to Mars and Pluto in opposition, not necessarily the greatest energy, but it's getting support from Neptune. It's getting support from us. You're getting support from someone in a position of power and authority that has to do with your money, your materials, your possessions, the things that you own. Maybe even this could be also friends coming to your aid too, because Mars does rule your 11th house of friends. But this can also be someone in a position of power and authority being very benevolent to you, and maybe giving you a pay raise, or this could be something to do with insurance, taxes, inheritances, things like that, because Pluto is in the 8th house for you, and it's still doing its whole transformational kind of thing there, and it's deeply perceptive with it being retrograde. So just be aware of that your status may change because of an insurance payout, a will, like the reading of a will, someone has passed, and so your name is on it, right? So it could be something like that. It's going to be a little anxious there too with the opposition to Mars, but the Neptune is helping out from that 10th house of a benevolent person in that 10th house. And then Mars moving into Leo, Mars is moving into your 3rd house. So your thoughts, your speech, your communication is going to be fiery, is going to be, this could be, having conversation too with people in your friends groups and being really passionate about what it is that you're talking about. This could also see with Mars moving into Leo, this could see, you may be speeding a little bit. So do watch that pedal to metal kind of thing going on. Make sure you're not speeding, because Mars is also police. And so with Mars in your 3rd house, there could be more of a tendency to have to deal with police, even though it is in a sextile with your ascendant and a trine with your descendant. There's still kind of that energy of watch the lead foot. So for Cancer and for Cancer rising, this eclipse is happening in your 12th house. This is a hidden house. This could be a brand new beginning for you in especially with Mercury retrograde here, letting go of addiction, letting go of something from the past, letting go of some type of old spiritual practice for something brand new to come in, right? It can be like that. Or it can be you pulling yourself out of the melee of the rat race, that every day, and pulling yourself away from the world in order to have this newfound sense of oneness with God and source, and maybe a new understanding of where it is that you're going from whence that you've come, right? So there is that kind of that 12th house connotation, right? Of like being pulled away from the world, being away from the world. And this is going to give you a brand new perspective here. And so also too, this could be because Mercury does rule Virgo, and Virgo is your, sorry, Virgo is your 3rd house. I don't have my water with me. This could see a revamping of how it is that you're speaking, how it is that you're communicating, and how it is that you're traveling within your community. And so there is that as well. With the square to Neptune, this is happening in your 9th house. So there could be some ambiguity, some nebulousness, some confusion, lies, deceit, what have you, from institutions of a higher nature, either by you or by someone else. And here in the 9th house, this could also be, growth in this area. Maybe you decide with this eclipse happening in your 12th house that you're going to start a teaching pursuit of a more spiritual nature, or you're going to pursue a learning opportunity that is of a spiritual nature, or you're going to travel to some remote location somewhere in the globe to really hone that spiritual self within you. That could be a thing here. And with the trine over to Saturn is happening in your 8th house, this is very deeply healing. This could be working with someone that is in a position of authority for hypnosis, for past life regression, for astrology, for occult practices. But with both of these planets retrograde, there's a revision that's happening here in the house of traumas, wounds, fears, magic and transformation, as well as death, right? It can be a proverbial death of like a death of an ego, or the death of a mindset kind of thing. and really transforming from the inside out. But then with this eclipse happening with Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, you know, both planets are strong. They're in their home signs, but they're revisiting something that has been kind of mulling over. And with them in trine, it's an easy flow of energy, and you're able to understand maybe where some of your self-sabotage is coming from a past life. I mean, I know the North Node is here, and you know, this is like transiting where you're going, and you being pulled away from the world up here in the 12th house in trine with Saturn in the 8th. There's still a sense that there could be something from a very traumatic past life that comes back around, and you're revisiting it to put it to bed for the final time, because later on in the evening after this eclipse comes exact, Mercury will be, because you need the sun, there can be clarity points, right? And so with Neptune in sextile and trine with Pluto, this is honing in on your one-to-one relationships and you being really passionate about what it is that you're doing in those one-to-one, and really getting a much deeper, much broader understanding of what's going on with you, what it is that lights you up, what it is that makes you passionate, right? Not necessarily lights you up, it's Mars, but it's what makes you passionate, what fires you up, you know. And this could have something to do with your career. This could have something to do with relationships too, because it is on your 1-7 axis. Pluto is in your 7th house, revamping what's going on there with relationships and contracts and negotiations and agreements. And then with the sextile to Neptune up in the 9th house, this could definitely be very beneficial for your education, or for travel, or for an educational pursuit of some kind, whether or not you're teaching, or whether or not you're learning, or whether or not you're publishing. This could be you publishing something of a very deeply spiritual nature. Now, when Mars moves out of Cancer and into Leo, Mars is moving into your 2nd house. This is a money house. This is you focusing and being really passionate on what it is that you're doing for money, what it is that your money that you're making as well. And then I can also maybe see you making a little extra income for what it is that you're known out in the world, because Mars does rule your 10th house, Cancer. So this could be it could turn out to be a cutting away of a resource, or it could be being really fired up and really passionate about your resources and the money that you're making in general. Okay, so that is for Cancer. For Leo and for Leo rising, this eclipse is happening in your 11th house. Hey, look, it's all set up for me. So this eclipse is happening in your 11th house. And so this is a brand new beginning. This is new friends, a new tribe, new people coming into your life, new organizations, new social endeavors, new humanitarian pursuits that are of an intellectual nature, because it is Mercury, and Mercury is very intellectual. But with that trine to Saturn, this is coming through the guise of contracts, agreements, negotiations. Maybe there's something that needs to be revised here with these contracts, agreements, and negotiations, and it's going to put you on a different path. It's going to put you in the path of what it is that you're supposed to be doing, right? And so both planets are in retrograde right now. So there's revisions that are happening in your social networks. There's revisions that are happening with your relationships. So there's definitely this sense that, with the square to Neptune, this is definitely a very ominous feeling and a very confusing and nebulous kind of sensation going on for Leo ascendants right now, because nothing is clear, right? Mercury rules your 11th house, and Mercury is retrograde. Mercury is kind of offline. You're having a hard time thinking. You're having a hard time seeing your friends clearly. You're having a hard time seeing the people that you associate with clearly, or the groups and organizations that you associate with clearly. You're having a hard time communicating with those friends groups. So there's definitely this fogginess and this confusion about what's going on. Get intuitive. You're a Leo. You have, you have all your water signs where they're supposed to be. Go into meditation, right? You have Mars and Venus both in your 12th house. Go into meditation for this eclipse, and feel truly what it is that it's bringing up for you. with the trine to Saturn, right? Like I said, this is contracts, agreements, and negotiations. And so use that. Use other people, not use them like in a bad way, right? Like don't use them just to use them, but use them for a purpose. And it's a trine, so it flows both ways. You can ask for help and receive it through your friends groups. You can ask for help and receive it through your contracts and your agreements and your negotiations with people. So maybe, you know, use that and see what this truly is for you. Now, with the trine and the sextile that Neptune is offering from, you know, your 8th house to your 12th and to your 6th, this is really gaining an understanding of where it is that you're self-sabotaging. This is getting that very clear, very honed in focus on what it is that maybe from the past causes you to self-sabotage, right? Because Mars is in your 12th house, bringing up old traumas, old wounds, old issues, but old sabotaging things, right? Because the 12th house is where we sabotage ourselves. This can also be hidden enemies, but really the hidden enemy is probably ourselves. I'm not going to lie. That's probably us. But with this opposition to Pluto, there could be health issues that have been plaguing you. There could be maybe health issues from the insomnia of Mars being in your 12th. I know that that's been an issue for me. But with the sextile and this trine going on with Neptune from the 8th, this can really have you perceiving things in a very interesting way and understanding the connectedness of what's going on behind the scenes and what's going on your everyday day-to-day that needs to transform, and getting a deeper understanding of what truly needs to transform on the daily basis and what needs to be cut away with the self-sabotaging habits and whatnot. So it can be very deep, profound insight with the sextile and the trine there. When Mars does move out of Cancer, it's moving into your sign. You yourself are going to feel more fired up, more passionate, revitalized with Mars coming through, because Mars is passion. Mars is also in, you know, it's coming into a fire sign, which means it's in trine with its home sign. So also being in a fire sign in general, it's happy here. It wants to go, it wants to move, it wants to get out of the watery depths that are Cancer and move into something that's quicker, that's faster, that is more passion driven. And what's more passion driven than Leo, right? They lead with their heart. So with Mars coming through here, this can see you going hard at a project, a pursuit of some kind, right? And going hard at it. Just know that it's, when Mars does come through your ascendant, it's on again, off again. You go, and then you crash, and then you go some more, and then you crash again, right? So just be aware that that is a Mars influence. So if you're going at it hard and then you crash, know that's a thing. It's totally a thing. Yeah, and so that's for Leo and for Leo rising. For Virgo and for Virgo rising, this solar eclipse is happening in your 10th house. This is your career. This is what you're known for. This is how the public knows you and how they know who you are. And so with Mercury retrograde here, excuse me, especially at the time of this eclipse being conjunct this eclipse and then being consigning later on, this is really honing in on what needs to change up there in that 10th house. And with that square to the 7th house to Neptune, there can be ambiguous, kind of nebulous, ambivalent feelings of towards your relationships, towards your contracts, towards your agreements and negotiations and things like that. And it's not something like you're just kind of like, whatever, with your partners. And so there could be maybe some confusion, some misunderstanding, but with Mercury being with this eclipse and something new coming in for you for career, later on in the evening after the eclipse, the Mercury will be consigning the sun. So there can be clarity. You just have to be focused and 100% as to what it is that you're looking for, and conversations that happen around this time as well. With the trine to Saturn is happening in your 6th house. So these two are money houses. Your 6th and your 10th are money houses. So what this means is that your work, what you do on a daily basis, is under revision. There's a need to restructure, right? retrograde, redoing something. There is a need to restructure what it is that you do every day to be able to make room for what's going on up there in that 10th house. So that being said, both planets are retrograde. What you're doing out in the world is under revision and under fire, right? And then what you're doing every single day is under revision. So you need to really get clear as to what it is that you want to do going forward for the long haul, and understand what needs to change on a daily basis to be able to get you to that 10th house, and be able to get you to understand what it is that you truly want to be known for as a Virgo ascendant. And then with, you know, Neptune in your 7th house, in trine with Mars in your 11th house, and in sextile with Pluto in your 5th house, this could be, you know, this could be using, you know, this could be a positive time for your children, right? Because Pluto is in your 5th house of children. It could be a positive time for, your love affairs and your lovers, or your boyfriend girlfriend type situations, your hobbies, the things that you love to do just because you love to do them, your self-expression. And with Pluto here, there's been a really big transformation over the last several years, you know, since about 2008, since, you know, Pluto moved in here, and it's been revamping how it is that you're expressing yourself, and who you're expressing as, and what it is that you're truly passionate, deeply passionate about. Now with Mars, you know, in trine in the 11th house, this could be you working contractually, albeit, you know, ambivalently, because of the square to the eclipse, with friends group, with social networks, with people that you associate with, and groups and organizations that you associate with, and helping you understand relationships, right? So it could be something like that as well, for you. And once Mars moves into Leo, Mars is moving into your 12th house. So yes, Mars does really like Leo. It likes being in the fire signs. It likes the fast movement of the fire signs, the fast pace of the fire signs, but it is your 12th house. So know that there could be self-sabotage here. You know, they say it's the house of hidden enemies, and who's the best hidden enemy other than ourselves and our internal motives that we have, that we are not necessarily aware of ourselves, right? So there could be something going on there, you know, behind the scenes. There could be, you know, arguments and disputes going on behind the scenes, or this could be maybe you pulling yourself away from the world just to take a beat for, you know, a little bit, because you've been working really hard, and you've been, you know, going through a lot here in that 11th house with, as Mars transits through here. So it's moving out of that sextile and into your 12th house. So it's really, there's a lot, there could be paranoia, insomnia, you know, lack of sleep. There could be just not being able to do anything, not like feeling really ambivalent about what it is that you want to do, or where you want to go, or what you want to do, that kind of thing for Virgo. And for Libra, and for Libra rising, this solar eclipse is happening in your 9th house. This is happening in your house of, you know, education, of worldview, of God, the universe, the world around you, your perception of reality as it stands as a whole. And so there's definitely something new coming in. There's something that's being revised here for you. There's something that's being that's under revision because of Mercury being retrograde. And with this eclipse happening, you know, and Mercury being conjunct this eclipse, there's definitely something brand new that's coming in terms of travel, in terms of moving, in terms of, you know, like this could be new social networks too, that you're moving to a different location with something. And with this square to Neptune, there could be some issues with like your daily routines, or with employees, or, you know, what is that you're doing on a daily basis. And it could be really foggy and really confusing about how you're going to get this done up here in the 9th house, and what's going on in the 9th house. because of that square to what's going on in the 6th house and feeling like really foggy and really kind of like out of it when it comes to what it is you're doing every single day. The only thing that I can say is that trine from Saturn, you know, to this eclipse and Mercury, even though Saturn is retrograde and it's like you're revamping the creative parts of your life, you're revamping, you know, like what it is that you are passionate about, what it is that you love to do, your children, even if you have children, and like, you know, with Saturn, it would be like schedules and routines and things like that. But then it's also love affairs and lovers and things like that. So with this, you know, these two planets being retrograde at the time of this eclipse, but in trine, there's a sense that there's something that's going to have to really be reevaluated in terms of what it is that how you're expressing yourself or what it is that you believe to be right, true, and just in the world. And there's something new and very profound that's coming in for the long term for you. With the sextile and the trine to Mars, this is happening from your 6th house to your 10th house. These are money houses. So there could definitely be some interesting developments in what it is that you're known for, what it is that you do out in the world, what's going on behind the scenes. And it has to do with it has to do with what it is that you're doing every single day, or even your employees. Maybe there's something that's going on with your employees that's having you to have to revise what's going on out in the world in that 10th house and what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe you have to work more or you have to work less. There's something going on there that is it's offering support though. Like, so it's revamping some your work and what it is you do every single day, as well as your health and what you're known for out in the world. Now, when Mars moves into Leo, this is moving into your 11th house. So this is really good. This could see you really fired up and really passionate about contracts, agreements, and negotiations to do with friends groups, to do with the groups and organizations that you purposefully associate with, your humanitarian pursuits and some stuff that you're really fired up about. So there's definitely something that's going to be going on here, especially because Mars does rule your 7th house of contracts, agreements, and negotiations. So there's definitely feeling really passionate about something that's going on there once Mars moves into Leo, and that's going to be over the next 6 weeks. So that is for Libra. For Scorpio and for Scorpio rising, this solar eclipse is happening in your 8th house. So there's a new beginning for you, like a really big new beginning for you in terms of money, other people's money, taxes, inheritances, insurances, debt, even like other people's money, like loans and loans, like bank owned money, right? Like that kind of thing. So there's a brand new beginning here. And so there's a square going on with your 5th house. So maybe this could be, you know, confusion about what it is, how it is that, how do I want to word this? Like Mercury retrograde. So for Scorpio rising specifically, with this Neptune square to this eclipse, with Mercury being retrograde, I said Neptune, right? In your 5th house to your 8th house, this could be maybe some confusion about what it is that you are truly passionate about, what it is that lights you up, what, like, not lights you up like the sun and the moon, but like what it is that you're passionate about, that 5th house energy, because you love to do something, and how it can bring in a revenue stream either for yourself or for your significant other, and what it is, maybe what it is that your significant other is passionate about too. So it could be something like that. But this square is causing confusion. You know, maybe there's like you think it's one way, but it's actually another way, or there could be some type of deception going on, or there could be you know, just a kind of like ominous feeling around it, or some ambivalence with Mercury retrograde in square with Neptune about what it is that's going on there. And there's kind of this like, nah, right? Like what it is that you're truly passionate about maybe isn't offering the passion that you want right now, but it could bring in something new in that 8th house. And so focus on the, I would say focus, that's going to be a tough one, right? Because that's going to be over the long term. Like there's going to be confusion over the next several months, until, we figure it out and understand what it is that we want to do. But with Mercury retrograde at this eclipse, it's like, you can't think about it logically. You can't put that linear logic to it. You have to intuit it. You have to, you know, get inside yourself and really feel through it, if that makes sense. So with the trine to Saturn, though, the trine to Saturn is happening in your 4th house. So there's definitely something new coming up for Scorpio rising people, but it's for on the home front, right? Because this is your 4th house with Saturn retrograde here. But with Saturn retrograde here, there's going to be 3 times more efforts of what it is that you're trying to do. I mean, this could bring some really interesting results in terms of like maybe if you're looking at revamping your home to sell it, like this could really offer some very interesting results. Once everything is said and done and the confusion and the having to redo the things on the home are done, and revitalizing that 8th house of joint finances and maybe having to shuffle some things around there as well with the joint finances, maybe because of the home front, but it'll happen smoother, but there's going to be confusion on on the being passionate about it. Maybe you're not passionate about it. It's really annoying, but you got to do it. So it could be something like that. Now with the trine to Mars in your 9th house and the sextile to Pluto in your 3rd house, this is being really passionate about a teaching pursuit, a publishing pursuit, a traveling pursuit, a writing pursuit, so 9th house, 3rd house, right? 3rd house is writing, 9th house is publishing. Maybe there's something that you're really passionate about that you're working on, and that's where the ambivalence with this 8th house thing comes in, because you're more passionate about what's going on in the 3rd and the 9th house. And so that could be it too. And so Neptune is offering support to the 9th house and the 3rd house of what it is that you're speaking about and communicating about, or what it is that you're revamping, especially in that 3rd house with Pluto retrograde, revamping what it is that you're communicating or how it is that you're communicating as well. So then when Mars moves out of Cancer and it moves into Leo, Mars is moving into your 10th house. This is you, because this is a co-chart ruler for you and it's the ruler of your 6th house. You're going to be diligently working away, as to what it is that you're doing every single day. Aries, 6th house ruler in the 10th, what it is that you're doing in career, what it is that you're known for, and so you're going to be really fired up and really passionate about doing something every single day about at that top of the chart, about what it is that you're known for, about what it is that you do. And you personally are going to feel really fired up about what's going on in that 10th house. There could be arguments and disputes and power struggles, yes, because it is going to cause a T-square with Saturn and Uranus, but you yourself are really going to want to hone in and focus on that 10th house with Mars there. You're going to be really fired up about it. So that's for Scorpio. For Sagittarius and for Sagittarius rising, this eclipse is happening in your 7th house. This is contracts, agreements, negotiations, clients, signing on the dotted line. For some of you, this could be marriage. For some of you, this could be maybe even the purchase of a new home, or the purchase of a home if you've never purchased a home before. Or this could be maybe, ambivalence about what's going on the home front because of what's happening in the 7th house, because of the square to Neptune in your 4th house. But you do have Saturn in trine with your descendant, or with this eclipse on your descendant. Depending on where that is for you, it's still going to be felt. And what it is that you're revamping in terms of whatever it is that you're writing, whatever it is that you're speaking, your text messages, your emails, So there's a lot of revamping going on about what it is that you're doing in that third house and what it is that you're doing in partnership, because Mercury is retrograde here. There's a need to reevaluate what it is that you're doing in partnership and maybe even how you're communicating in partnership. But this is over the long haul, right? Because this is Saturn, this is eclipses, this is fated karmic events. These can be people within your community and even clients, clients or business partners or whatnot that are coming in as well. So there's definitely some really interesting things going on for you. With the Neptune trine Mars in your 8th house from your 4th and in sextile to Pluto in your 2nd, this could be, you know, a struggle between your finances and other people's finances with that 2-8. But this is also a beneficial. This could be maybe family chipping in for something that you really want to do, or maybe this could be money and material coming in from family that is coming to you specifically, or you know, this could be like joint finances and setting up some type of joint finance with someone as well that is related to you, or that is yeah, that's related to you. Now when Mars moves into Leo, Mars is moving into your 9th house, so this is going to have you really fired up and really passionate about what it is that you're doing for publishing, what it is that you're doing for teaching, what it is that you're doing for education. This is going to see a revamp of that fire and that drive and that motivation to pursue what it is that's going on for you in that 9th house. You know, depending on how your chart is set up, this could be publishing a book. This could be publishing a website. This could be marketing. This could be travel. This could be education, either you giving education or you receiving education, but being really passionate about what it is and really fired up, because Mars rules your 5th house of passion and play and fun. So whatever this is that's happening for you, you know, after June 11th, over the course of the next 6 weeks, this is you being really fired up and really passionate about what it is that you're doing in that 9th house. So whether or not it's travel, whether or not it's, you know, yeah, travel, publishing, teaching, education, things like that, you're going to be really fired up and really passionate about it. So for Capricorn and Capricorn rising, this is happening in your 6th house. This solar eclipse is happening in your 6th house of what it is that you're doing every day. This could be a fated new job coming in. This could be a fated revamp of your health, even because this is your 6th house. This is also your mental health, right? Like, and with Mercury here and Mercury going retrograde, this is very much a revamp of what it is that you're doing every single day. And it could be that maybe there's some ambivalence or some confusion about the communication that's going on about what it is that you're doing every day. Or there could be some really unclear things going on with what it is that you're doing every day. Hone in on that Saturn in that 2nd house, because this is your 6th and your 2nd. So these are both money houses. This is your money, your materials, your possessions here in the 2nd house. This is also your sense of value, your sense of worth. And it's in trine with what's going on in that 6th house, with what's coming in for a new job, a new, a new job, a new somewhere where you can actually make money, or a new thing that you're going to make money with. And it's probably going to be of a mercurial nature because it is Gemini, but also because Gemini is retrograde here, there's going to be some ambivalence and some, you know, revamping, redoing, rehashing what it is that you're doing every single day. And so there could be some confusion about the communication of what it is that you're doing every single day too. Now with the trine and the sextile that Neptune has from Mars and Pluto, this is really firing up you and your relationships, and you're really passionate about something that you're doing in relationship. Maybe there's a new contract for a home that you're purchasing. And you know, this is communicating what it is that truly brings you passion in relationship, and communicating about some much deeper, more introspective, more profound things that have happened for you or to you over the last several years. So that could be this as well, since, you know, it takes Mars 2 years. But when Mars moves out and Mars moves into Leo, this is moving into your 8th house. So there's definitely, you know, this could be debt for a home. This could be getting a loan to purchase a home. And because, you know, the 8th house has to do with other people's money as well. So this could be debt for the purchase of a home. After you're fired up about the contract agreement and negotiation, you sign on the dotted line, you get the loan, you buy the house, and now you're working on that financing with the house, right? Like there's some things that are going to be fired up there. So that is that for Capricorn. And then for Aquarius and for Aquarius rising, this is great for Aquarius. This is a brand new beginning, fated karmic new beginning in what it is that brings you passion, your self-expression, what it is that lights you up, literally, that that you love to do just because you love to do it. And this is of a mercurial nature, so it's more of a mental nature, right? And so this could be a new lover, this could be a new child, this could be a new, like, sexy romance kind of thing. This could be a new passion project, something that is a hobby that you are truly deeply passionate about. And, you know, with Mercury here, Mercury is retrograde, so there is this sense that you're going to have to revamp and redo something, and it's going to be, you know, it's going to be fraught with some challenges, especially with your finances, right? Because you have the square to Neptune in your 2nd house of Pisces. And so there's kind of like maybe a little bit of a confusion or misunderstanding about what's going on with the finances and how this project is going to get off the ground for you. But also Mercury does rule your 8th house of other people's money. So there could be a reevaluation, or maybe, you know, working with other people to make money with this project as well. With the trine to Saturn, this is you having Saturn retrograde is reevaluating yourself, reevaluating what it is that you truly love, what it is that you truly want to do, what it is that you decide that you want to put the effort in, and have this profound experience here in this 5th house with this eclipse. So this is you over the long haul starting something new that is of a mercurial nature, that is of either speaking or thinking, or, you know, it could be teaching, because Mercury does have that association with teachers. Maybe it's a teaching project or something. It could be that. But with the trine and the sextile from your 2nd house to your 12th house to your 6th house, right? With Venus, good Lord, with Neptune, Pluto, and Mars, right? So there's been this really kind of weird energy with Mars in opposition to Pluto about pulling away from the world, but wanting to be of the world as well, and being passionate about something that's going on a daily basis, but being really hyper focused on what's going on behind the scenes, behind the veil. And with this sextile and trine to Neptune, this could be money, or a sense of value. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, but it could be a sense of value, your self value, with what it is that you're doing every day, and having that much deeper, much more profound understanding of what's going on behind the scenes, and understanding where things come from and why things happen the way they happen. So there is that as well. And then when Mars moves into Leo, Mars is moving into your 7th house. This could be you being really fired up and really passionate about relationship with other people. This could see you communicating with business partners much more aggressively, much more profoundly, much more passionately, and even pursuing partners in terms of clients or business partners. Or if you're a single Aquarius, this could be, you know, you trying to pursue a relationship, a long-term relationship, or a you know, that signing on the dotted line, getting married kind of thing. So it could be something like that for Aquarius rising people as well. And this could also be, you know, new contracts and agreements too with your career, because as an Aquarius rising, Mars also rules your 10th house of what it is that you're known for. So there's definitely across the board some really interesting, fun things coming up for Aquarius people. And then for Pisces and for Pisces rising, this solar eclipse is happening in your 4th house. There is something brand new, something fated, something karmic that's coming in on the home front. This could be a new contract for a home. This could be the purchase of a new home. This could be you moving to your forever home. But you yourself might feel a little wonky about it. It might be a little confusing about what's going on or why it's going on or how it's showing up for you. So just flow with it, right? I mean, Pisces are pretty good about flowing with things. All the mutable signs are, as long as they're not, you know, fear-based and rigid. But like, if you're a Pisces rising, there could be this feeling of like, I don't really understand what's going on here. We're just going to have to roll with it because Mercury is retrograde. And so there's a revamping that needs to be done. There could be something coming back around with that 12th house of, you know, you wanting to pull away from the world, but you wanting to pull away from the world because of what's going on the home front. But this isn't a bad thing, because both Mercury and Saturn are both in retrograde. There's a revamp being done here and there's also like a revisiting of something from the deep past, right? Whether or not it's from past lives, past childhood, you know, whatever, the past, the deep past, right? Or the unconscious realm, our dreams. Maybe there's some really interesting dream work that's been done and you need to go over it again. And with that 4th house, you know, this could be something, I mean, this could be an opportunity coming back from the past for the purchase of the home that like slipped through your fingers for some of you. And so this could be the purchase of a very fated, very long lasting home for you. With the sextile to Pluto from Neptune and the trine to Mars, I mean, this is happening in your 5th house, from you to your 5th house. So there's something that you're really fired up about, something that you're really passionate about, something that's been going on here that's really got a lit that fire under you about either a creative hobby that you've been doing, a creative pursuit that you've been doing, or like a lover, a romantic partner, or even even your children, something going on with your children. It's got you really fired up and really passionate, but there's been like some really tough energy with friends groups and maybe people in that friends groups trying to assert dominance and say, no, your kids can't do this. So this can see an alleviation of that because of the sextile to Pluto. Maybe you get a deeper understanding of what it is that they're actually saying or why they're saying it in terms of that 5th house thing. Now, when Mars moves into Leo, Mars is moving into your 6th house. So this is your house of, this is a house of work. This is a house of money. So there could be, you could be really fired up and really passionate about something that you're doing every single day now. And so you're really gung ho and you really want to go to work and you really want to do the things and you really want to make the money. And so there could be a lot of really passionate, this could also see arguments and disputes at work too, because Mars in the 6th house does cause arguments and disputes with colleagues and coworkers and people at work. There are people that you work with or also your employees that you work with. So there could be that as well. So just be aware of that. But I mean, overall, I mean, this is some really profound energy going on here. So that is my forecast for all 12 signs. And so I really hope that you enjoy this. And I really hope that, you know, you let me know what's going on. Because I really do enjoy feedback on forecasts and what they mean and how they actually show up physically, tangibly in the real world. All right. So thank you and have a great week and enjoy and just be careful out there. Okay. See you next time.